final one here. This one is, y'all, the brass tacks of resistance, okay? Why just leaving the United States, that is a privilege that many don't have, including myself. Yeah. Let's talk about the prospect of fleeing the USA and the brass tacks of resistance. This means approaching the question of why just leaving is a privilege many of us simply don't have. The cultural conversation around political instability in America has recently been dominated by a single frantic narrative: fleeing, that is, leave, get out of Dodge, get out of America. And also with passport considerations, if you guys haven't heard about the fact that there are actually people having passport issues, you might want to look into that. But the cultural conversation around political instability in America has recently been dominated by that single frantic narrative of fleeing. We hear endless talk about passport troubles, seeking asylum, and the logistics of moving abroad. But for a massive segment of the population, it is time to come back down to the brass tacks. The reality is that for many of us, just leaving is not a choice, a plan, or even a possibility. We're simply stuck here and we have to deal with this fascist takeover. So, what are we going to do about it? The hardest truth we have to face is that we just can't leave. A significant portion of the population simply doesn't have the income to leave, nor the paperwork, nor the possibility of even getting the paperwork. Global mobility is a luxury predicated on wealth and marketable health, leaving those without deep pockets or specialized visas trapped within the borders of a shifting nation. And there's nothing they can do about it. This is especially true for the most vulnerable among us. Some of us are disabled and unable to travel due to our conditions. Furthermore, many rely on SSDI and the medical care, as difficult as it may be to get in the United States. For these individuals, the American healthcare system, as flawed as it is the only one they have access to. So moving to a country with universal care is often a pipe dream, as those very systems frequently bar entry to anyone they deem a fiscal burden due to chronic illness or disability. When we acknowledge that some of us don't have the ability to flee, we have to ask a much darker, more pressing question. What does that mean for those of us who don't want to kiss the butt of the authoritarian dictator and his cronies? This is the reality of the modern era, where the threat of violence is no longer a distant what if, but a localized reality where people are being pew-pewed in the face or the leg on any given Thursday of the week. When escape is off the table, the question of resistance changes. It is no longer about which border to cross, but how to survive and maintain one's integrity while standing your ground. For those who stay, whether by choice or by necessity, the brass tacks of survival look different. It means building communities that the state cannot easily break. It means mutual aid networks where the disabled and marginalized protect one another. It means refusing to let the cronies dictate the terms of our existence. If we cannot flee, we must become indigestible to the system. We must look after the person next to us, protect our lifelines, and refuse to provide the assurances or the butt kissing that the authoritarianism requires to function smoothly. In the end, the escape narrative often acts as distraction from the work that actually needs to be done here. And someone has to do it. We can't just all leave. In the end, for those who cannot leave, the fight isn't about a passport. It's about the refusal to be silent and the commitment to keep each other alive in this place that we call home. Take care of each other. Mutual aid, communities, get the phone numbers of people that are in your communities and keep them somewhere, even if you don't use them, but have those different ways and tangible connections to mutual support networks so that you can get the help you need should it ever arise. And God forbid it should.